1 Chapter 1 Awakening Talent and the Path of Evolution. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Awakening Talent and the Path of Evolution. I'm going to awaken soon. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to being able to awaken an awesome talent. If that's the case, I will be part of the upper class. I don't expect much. Just give me a B-grade talent and that will do. That's still being greedy. My demand isn't high, just a D-grade talent will do. The students were all discussing it excitedly in Senior High Class 2 at Riverdale City High School. Among the students, there were feelings of excitement, fear, anticipation, and worry. The awakening point at the age of 18 would definitely be the most crucial event in their lives. Awakening a high-level talent would mean that the person was destined to be an extraordinary person in their lifetime. However, if one were to awaken a low-level talent, that person would be destined to be part of the lower class, getting menial jobs like cleaning the streets. Without a doubt, the fate of these students would be decided today. That was why some of them were afraid. Once the talent they awakened was terrible, they would be useless for life. Everyone wants to be someone extraordinary. They all wanted nothing more than to be someone at the top of society, but the reality was often cruel. Suddenly, the class teacher walked in and stood in front of the podium. He looked at everyone with a solemn expression. Today is the most important day for all of you. This is a world where talent determines everything. Everyone's strength comes from their talent. There are 10 levels to grade a talent. The lowest and most common talent is unrated. Then there is the division from F level to SSS level. When the students heard this, their expressions hardened. They started to fear what would happen if they were to awaken an unrated talent. What would they do in the future then? An unrated talent is the lowest level of talent. Those who awaken to this talent level are no different from ordinary people. In the future, they can only do some of the most ordinary jobs. Because of the large number of unrated talents, F, E, and D-level talents are considered medium-level talents. The use of medium-level talents is usually in the life skills professions, doing logistics and support work. C, B, and A-level talent, these three are the high-level talent. Following that, the teacher's tone became excited. Those who can awaken high-level talent will be the elites of the future society, the pillars of the country. In society, such people can obtain endless wealth. These words aroused the curiosity of the students. They all began to look forward to being the person who would awaken a high-level talent. Finally, there's the talent from S to SSS. This kind of person is 1 in a million. Once they appear, they will definitely be the country and society's treasure. Such a genius will definitely be supported with countless resources, granting them a fast track to the very top of society. The students present were all excited. Some began fantasizing about them awakening their SSS grade talent, while others imagined the scene of them being at the top of society. At this moment, Lu Yu raised his right hand. The form teacher looked over and said with a smile, "Student Lu Yu, if you have any questions, just ask." As one of the more gifted students in the class, Lu Yu had always been favored by the homeroom teacher. Lu Yu stood up and asked, "Teacher, is there any possibility of evolution to a person's talent after it awakens? If a person's original talent is inferior, does it really mean that he will be useless for the rest of his life?" This question instantly attracted the interest of the entire class. The homeroom teacher nodded slightly. A good question. There is indeed a possibility of an evolution of a person's talent. However, it does not evolve from F to E level. Currently, there are about 10 known evolution paths, such as great strength, extreme speed, ice, fire, and so on. This path developed by our predecessors was at the cost of their own lives, and it cannot be tread lightly. Otherwise, the consequences will be severe. Not only that, if you want to evolve, you will need the corresponding materials for it. You will need to refine the materials into medicine and consume them before completing your evolution. However, these materials are either very precious or grown in dangerous areas. It is extremely difficult to obtain them. The students' faces turned grim when they heard the warning. They initially thought that if their talent was too poor, they would still have a chance to remedy it. But now, it seems that this path was a difficult one. Then, the class teacher continued with a grave expression. Finding the materials is only the beginning. The refining process is the most crucial part. If you can't control the dosage and formula accurately, taking it may cripple you for life and damage your talent. That the students gasped in shock when they heard the consequences. The ramification was even worse than awakening an unrated talent. The homeroom teacher glanced at the students and said, "I know you all have the will to become stronger. But you have to do everything within your ability. If you awaken an unrated talent, then accept your fate. If you recklessly choose to evolve, I'm afraid you'll destroy yourself and ruin your family." The homeroom teacher's words were engraved in everyone's hearts. However, the homeroom teacher knew that there were people who refused to admit their defeat every year. These people were always determined to change their own fate. In the end, each of them ended worse than the last. At that moment, Lu Yu sat down. He was very calm for someone that was about to undergo an awakening. He was not from this world. He transmigrated here, therefore, his awakened talent shouldn't be too bad as a transmigrated person, right? Lu Yu was very young when he transmigrated to this world. In this world, Lu Yu's parents had passed away long ago. His aunt's family had brought him up. As Lu Yu got older, his aunt, who had worked so hard, fell seriously ill. Lu Yu had been working part-time jobs outside of school to help with his aunt's medical bills. Despite that, his aunt's illness worsened while his income remained unchanged. If this continued, the high medical bills would crush his family. But now, Lu Yu had hope. As long as he awakened an excellent talent, everything would not be a problem. Even if it were a mediocre talent, it would allow him to earn more at work. Right now, Lu Yu was just like the other students, looking forward to the awakening. Just at that moment, the homeroom teacher received a notice. He stood up and looked at the students. "Students, the previous class has completed their awakening. Next, it's our turn. Everyone line up and do the awakening in an orderly manner." That the homeroom teacher's words made the students present to stand up excitedly and line up. Now would be the time to decide on their future lives. 2 Chapter 2 Awakening begins, Unexpected Ability. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Awakening begins, Unexpected Ability. The awakening ceremony begins. The homeroom teacher organized the students and walked out of the classroom to the school square. Everyone saw a large and majestic array formation when they arrived at the square. Specialized array formation mages created the unique ceremony array formation. With the help of the array formation's power, the students would carry out the awakening ceremony. The students lined up and waited expectantly for the awakening ceremony to begin. A middle-aged man walked out of the array. He stood in front of the group and swept his gaze over them. "Hello, everyone. I am the host of this awakening ceremony. Please line up in an orderly manner and wait for the activation of the array." That the students were deeply excited and looked fervently at the array center. "I'm so nervous. The awakening is about to begin. I hope that the heavens will bless me with a slightly better talent. I heard that being the host of the awakening ceremony is extremely profitable. Of course, such an important matter like the awakening ceremony isn't something that just anyone can host. I wonder what level of talent this host has. Someone who can host such a ceremony must have a high-level talent." That Lu Yu waited quietly in the crowd, ignoring the chattering around him. At the same time, he was also very curious about what level of talent this host had. When Lu Yu looked at the host, he was surprised that a floating panel appeared beside the host. What was going on? The panel showed detailed information about the host, including his talent level. As Lu Yu noticed that his classmates were still guessing the host's talent level, it seemed that only he could see this panel. Could it be that he had accidentally awakened at this instant, allowing him to see things others could not? Lu Yu didn't think much and scrutinized the host on stage. Name, Su Chang. Talent, Array Mastery. Talent level, C level. The host's name was indeed Su Chang. His talent seemed to be C level, which was indeed a high-level talent. Moreover, it happened to be an array mastery talent, which was perfect for the awakening ceremony. Lu Yu quickly looked at a classmate beside him to verify his ability. A panel appeared beside this student and recorded his personal information very soon. Name, Zhang Cheng. Talent, Surface Petrification. Petrification of skin. Greatly enhanced defense, granting a slight increase in strength and speed. Talent level, F level, to be awakened. Lu Yu was surprised. He didn't expect to be able to see the talent and level of an unawakened person. With this ability, he would probably be able to earn a lot of admiration by just acting as a prophet. Lu Yu looked at the next student and saw the same panel information, name, Su Hua. Talent, violent force. Temporarily activating violent force will greatly increase speed and attack. Talent level, F level, to be awakened. Lu Yu continued to look at the next one. The same panel was displayed. Lu Yu roughly scanned through the students one by one. As expected, most of them had F-level talent or unrated talent. Those with high-grade talent could be said to be few and far between. Most importantly, some did not have any talent at all. These people's future would be miserable. At this moment, the host said, "It seems that everyone is very curious about my talent. Then I'll tell everyone. My talent level is C, and I'm proficient in array formations. That's why I'm qualified to be a host. Everyone, if you can awaken a C-level talent, you'll be a pillar of society like me." The host's words made the students extremely enthusiastic, so it turns out that one only needs C-level talent to become a successful person. They would be placed in a high position to enjoy their desired wealth. For a moment, they were filled with anticipation. The declaration made by the host, Su Chang, gave Lu Yu the confirmation that his eyes weren't hallucinating. It seemed that he had activated a talent that allowed him to see the talent and level of others. The awakening ceremony begins. The students went on stage one after another to carry out the awakening ceremony. Very soon, one person walked out of the group and attracted the attention of everyone present. She was the school belle of senior year class 2, Su Qing. She wore a white one-piece dress, and her long, black and luscious hair fluttered in the wind. Her snowy white skin tempted endless thoughts, and her gorgeous facial features intoxicated everyone present. Under everyone's gaze, Su Qing walked into the array. When the awakening ceremony began, the students were all discussing her spiritedly. "Su Qing is so beautiful. If only she were my wife. What are you thinking about? Not only is she from a wealthy family, with a beautiful appearance and figure, even her academic and sports results are top-notch. That's right. Since she is so outstanding, I reckon that we won't have a chance." "That might not be the case. What if she awakens an unrated talent? Won't we have a chance then?" "Tsk, you impudent toad." Very soon, Su Qing walked out of the array formation. Su Qing's expression was unperturbed. It wasn't possible to tell if the outcome was good or bad. Following that, the host announced loudly. "Awakened, Su Qing. The awakened talent is the holy light of healing. The talent level is an A." The moment these words were said, the entire place was in an uproar. "Whoa, an actual A-level talent. This is too ridiculous. An A-level talent? There aren't many in the entire school. Her future is bright. Sheesh, I've given up completely. It's impossible for us to have a chance anymore. I'm so envious. An A-level talent will most definitely be society's ace in the future, an existence that everyone looks up to. Why am I only F-level? Why?" Some of the students below the stage were envious, some jealous, and some regretful. When Su Qing walked down from the stage, they all revealed plastered smiles and congratulated her. "Congratulations, congratulations. As expected of the school belle, she will definitely achieve great things in the future. Congratulations, Su Qing, for awakening an A-level talent. When you become rich in the future, don't forget us old classmates." Su Qing ignored them and returned to her seat. Lu Yu looked at Su Qing and frowned slightly. The panel beside Su Qing showed that it was not an A-level talent. Name, Su Qing. Talent, light affinity. Talent level, S. The host reported that she awakened the holy light of healing, an A-level talent. But, what he saw was another talent. Although it was somewhat similar, it was indeed two different talents. Moreover, it was a scarce S-grade talent. Could it be that the host made a mistake in his report? Or perhaps they were all wrong and did not accurately identify Su Qing's talent. It seemed that his keen eye's ability was still beneficial. Just as Lu Yu was deep in thought, the awakening ceremony ended. It was the last student's turn. Finally, it was Lu Yu's turn. Everyone's eyes were on Lu Yu, waiting for him to step onto the stage and awaken his innate talent. Lu Yu walked towards the array formation nervously. He had to awaken a high-level talent to repay his aunt's kindness in raising him adequately. Chapter 3 Letdown, the weakest weapon possible. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Letdown, the weakest weapon possible. At the end of the awakening ceremony, it was finally Lu Yu's turn to go on stage. Lu Yu stepped forward and walked toward the stage. Everyone's attention was focused on him, and there was a heated discussion. Lu Yu had always been among the best in his class in terms of cultural studies, with his sports results also excellent. Not only that, Lu Yu was handsome and mature. Everyone knew him as that one excellent student. It's finally Lu Yu's turn. He's so outstanding in every aspect, his awakened talent shouldn't be bad. Of course that's the case. Su Qing has already awakened an A-level talent, so Lu Yu should at least be a B-level. I'm so envious. If only I was so outstanding. It seems that in this class, the only one who can match up to Su Qing is Lu Yu. After that, everyone fell silent, not willing to say anything more. While the crowd was discussing this, Lu Yu had already arrived at the center of the array formation. The array mages controlled the energy in their hands and began the ritual. When they activated the array formation, the array mages closed their eyes to sense the energy. However, they quickly frowned. They couldn't feel any energy fluctuation in Lu Yu's body. Logically speaking, this shouldn't be the case. The array mages opened their eyes. After exchanging glances, they continued the activation of the array formation. They rhythmically gestured with their hands, and the energy flowed throughout the surroundings. Lu Yu noticed the array mages frowning and couldn't help but be even more nervous. If the talent he had awakened was terrible, what should he do then? At that moment, an array mage opened his eyes and stopped moving his hands. He frowned and let out a long sigh. Then, he took out an ancient book, which recorded all the talent ever awakened in the past. Soon, he found Lu Yu's talent. Because it was discreet, he had to flip through the book for a long time before finding it. Claw attack. You can swing your sharp claws to attack the enemy. This was Lu Yu's talent. Its introduction was short and also ordinary. His talent level was only an F. In the ranking of more than 1,000 talents, the claw attack strength was ranked 999th. It could be said to be the lowest and most trashy talent. It was even given a nickname, the weakest weapon possible. This talent was useless. It's weak in battle and was also not useful enough to use for any job-related applications. After the host received the results, he faced everyone and announced Lu Yu's talent. Everyone looked at the host anxiously, curious about Lu Yu's talent. Lu Yu's talent is claw attack, and his talent is F level. That once these words were said, the entire hall fell silent. Some students knew the talent of being crowned with the title of the weakest weapon possible. Before the awakening ceremony, they had spent all their time and energy rummaging through the books that recorded all possible talents. They would find a talent they liked and fantasize about the days after they awakened this talent. Never in their wildest dreams did they expect that Lu Yu would awaken such a trash talent. Is this for real? It's actually the talent claw attack. This is too unlucky. I'm feeling much better now. I also have a F-level talent. As expected, most people have F-level talent. He's still stronger than me. I don't have any talent at all. Lu Yu clenched his fists in the center of the ceremony array. He did not expect that he would awaken such a weak talent. This was really a hell mode difficulty beginning. It seemed that if he wanted to advance in the future, he had no choice but to evolve. However, evolution was not something that an ordinary person like him could undergo. The current Lu Yu could only take things one step at a time. He stood up and prepared to walk down the awakening ceremony stage. Wait. An array mage suddenly called out to Lu Yu. Vaguely, the array mage seemed to have noticed a difference in Lu Yu's talent. He seemed to have seen another unknown talent with an SSS rank in that instant. He did not realize Lu Yu's talent was claw attack until the ceremony ended. It wasn't that he had forgotten about its existence. Lu Yu's talent was indeed different from the normal claw attack. The array mage rubbed his eyes and looked at Lu Yu again, but found nothing. It seemed like it was indeed claw attack. He must have seen it wrongly. With this thought in mind, the array mage waved his hand and said, "It's nothing. You can go back now." Lu Yu shrugged and didn't say anything else. He walked back into the crowd. The students' lively atmosphere from before became awkward and cold. They all knew Lu Yu's family background. Lu Yu's life would be even more difficult in the future if he didn't awaken a good talent. They all wanted to comfort Lu Yu, but they didn't know what to say. Lu Yu's F-level talent made them lament the gap between the two gifted students in their school. Fate is certainly a cruel mistress. The homeroom teacher looked at Lu Yu, shook his head slightly, and sighed. Su Qing and Lu Yu were the two students he had been looking forward to the most. Although Su Qing had shocked him, Lu Yu's talent was a regretful one. Before the awakening ceremony, he had always thought that Lu Yu, outstanding in all aspects, would awaken a good talent, but reality slapped him in the face. Class 2's awakening ceremony ended, and the results were reported to the school quickly. In the principal's office, the principal couldn't help but sigh after reading the awakening records. Before the awakening ceremony, they had taken note of the gifted students, and among them, Lu Yu attracted his attention. The school had planned to allocate more resources to these gifted students in the future. And Lu Yu was a talent that they cared about. Now that the results were out, he felt somewhat helpless about the situation. He had no choice but to distribute the resources to other outstanding students. After the ceremony ended, people would come over to comfort Lu Yu on the way back to class. "Lu Yu, don't be discouraged. F level is fine. Most of us are at this level. Although you have put in a lot of effort, the talent you awake is something that no one could predict. Don't worry, Lu Yu. I have a C-level talent. From now on, I'll take care of you." Although Lu Yu knew they were here to comfort him, this pitiful look made him very uncomfortable. There were so many people who had awakened F-level talents. Why were they just coming to console him? "Thank you for your kind intentions." The others did not say anything else and began to research their own talents. Returning to the class, Lu Yu suddenly remembered the ability he had obtained by accident. Since he could really see the talents of others, could he also see his own? Hence, when he looked down, he found that a panel had appeared in front of him. The panel still displayed the talent claw attack. However, there was no level effect below. Instead, there were 5 evolutionary paths: talent, claw attack, 5 evolution paths: cat claw path, bear paw path, eagle strike path, snake tooth path, dragon claw path. Cat claw evolution effect, greatly increases agility. Increases stealth, speed, and strength in the dark. Bear paw evolution effect, greatly increases strength. Eagle strike evolution effect, greatly increases attack power, armor-piercing ability, grip power. Snake tooth evolution effect, attacks carry venom. Shoot out poisonous fangs, a long-range attacks. Dragon claw evolution effect, special route temporarily unknown effect, temporarily unknown number of times it can grow. Following that, a series of materials needed for evolution were presented. For Chapter 4 Awakening comes to an end, college exams preparations begin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Awakening comes to an end, college exams preparations begin. The panel in front of him displayed 5 evolutionary paths. Lu Yu looked at them and was immediately piqued. Among the 5 evolutionary paths, only the Dragon Claw was the most elusive. Without a doubt, the Dragon Claw evolutionary path was the most powerful among the 5 evolutionary paths and the one with the greatest potential in the future. Then, Lu Yu clicked on the panel and opened up the synthetic materials needed. The first thing he saw was 4 kinds of synthetic materials for the Dragon Claw. Moreover, each material was very rare and quite difficult to obtain. Materials needed for the evolution of the Dragon Claw: Giant Rock Python Blood Essence, Green Sky Goshawk Bones, Red Flame Violent Bear Fur, and Shadow Cat Demon Fingernails. After seeing these materials, Lu Yu thought carefully. Don't these 4 materials seem like they correspond to the other 4 evolution paths? Giant Rock Python Blood Essence corresponded to Snake Tooth Path, Green Sky Goshawk Bones corresponded to Eagle Claw Path, Red Flame Violent Bear Fur corresponded to Bear Paw Path, and Shadow Cat Demon Fingernails corresponded to Cat Claw Path. the 4 materials needed for Dragon Claw evolution were also the materials required for the other 4 evolution paths. There was no need to think too much about it. This Dragon Claw was definitely the strongest evolution path. However, these materials were not ordinary, and obtaining them would not be easy. Although his talent was poor, his future growth would be immeasurable with this Dragon Claw's evolution path. Thinking of this, Lu Yu heaved a sigh of relief. As long as he gathered the materials, his talent might not necessarily be the weakest in the world. The students all returned to the class one by one. The homeroom teacher followed them in. Everyone, since the awakening has been completed, let's rearrange the seats. According to tradition, those with outstanding talent will sit in the front row. Those with poor talent will sit in the last row. Those with extremely poor talent will have no seats and will stand at the back. Then, the homeroom teacher took out the seating order that had just been set and read out the names of the students one by one. This was a way to motivate the students. A clear division of grades would encourage the students to climb the ladder. As the homeroom teacher read out the names, the seats were reallocated. The students standing in the last row lowered their heads, their faces full of shame. Without a doubt, Lu Yu was also assigned to stand in the last row. Generally speaking, those standing in the last row were people who had not even awakened their talent. However, Lu Yu's F-level talent was the weakest claw attack, not much stronger than those who did not have talent, so he was also assigned to stand in the last row by the homeroom teacher. As for Su Qing, without a doubt, she sat in the first row beside the podium. After all, her A-level talent was the best in the entire school. In their class, she was obviously ranked first. Everyone could only look on with envy. After a short semester, Su Qing was now completely different from them. The homeroom teacher stood in front of the podium, cleared his throat, and announced loudly, "There's only 1 month left until the college entrance exam. The school will allocate resources of different levels to the awakened ones. These resources will be the key for you all to try and get into an Awakeners University. Understand?" That everyone nodded one after another, with an invisible pressure weighing on them. The pressure of the college entrance examination was no less than the awakening ceremony. If they didn't raise their strength enough before the college entrance examination, then they really had no chance of turning things around in this lifetime. And there was only a month before the college entrance examination. This 1 month would prove to be the most crucial time in their lives. The homeroom teacher continued, "The college entrance examination mainly tests on 2 aspects. One is fighting, and the other is battling. Fighting would pit you against ferocious beasts, and battling would place you face to face against cultivators. When you are training normally, you must go for more actual combat training so that you can get as good a result as possible. In next month's plan, you will be free to explore and train for the first 3 weeks. In the last week of training, I will lead you to increase your strength as fast as possible." After the homeroom teacher finished speaking, the class started discussing enthusiastically. "Just 1 month is too short. We still have to fight with ferocious beasts. Isn't this too dangerous? Where can I find a ferocious beast to train and fight? With my talent, I'm afraid I'll die from the ferocious beast in the exam if I'm not careful. Let's be buddies. From now on, we can look after each other and train together. It would be great if we could train with Su Qing." Everyone looked at Su Qing and had their own little thoughts. If they could pull an A-level powerhouse like Su Qing into their team, their future training approach would be much easier. The class was discussing their future plans enthusiastically. Almost everyone ignored the students who were standing at the back. Everyone was realistic. They all knew that those who stood at the back would be the lowest class in society in the future. They would be engaged in the most laborious work. They were destined not to be from the same world, so they would not have too many interactions. Lu Yu did not communicate with the others. Instead, he was thinking that if he had the chance to evolve for the first time, which one would be the better choice. Soon, the bell rang. The students stood up and prepared to move freely. At that time, the homeroom teacher took out a stack of exchange vouchers. "Everyone, don't be in a hurry to leave. I have the exchange vouchers for the basic cultivation stone tablet. Everyone, take these exchange vouchers and go to the library to exchange. Everyone, take one. Line up to take it." When everyone heard this, they all smiled happily. Cultivation Stone Tablet. This is a good thing. It's being given out for free right from the start. That's great. With this thing, our cultivation speed will become faster. Thank you, school. Thank you, teacher. Everyone lined up and went up to receive the vouchers one by one. Luyu was at the end of the line and followed suit. The voucher was given to each person. Other than those who did not awaken their talent, everyone had one. This was the school's rule. Even if Luyu's talent was the weakest, he was still qualified to receive one voucher. Very quickly, the line reached Luyu. Luyu received a voucher from the homeroom teacher. The homeroom teacher looked at Luyu and sighed regretfully. Sigh, I hope you can exchange it for something good. Although you have F-level talent, your future will be bright as long as you continue to work hard. Luyu did not care much about the homeroom teacher's encouragement. He took the voucher, thanked him, and left the classroom. After the other students had left the classroom, they headed toward the library. Luyu followed the flow of people and arrived at the library together. When they arrived at the library hall, everyone found the librarian, and they conducted the exchange there. At that moment, someone asked, "Can you tell us what exactly is the purpose of this basic cultivation stone tablet?" Everyone looked at the librarian earnestly. The librarian cleared his throat and began to explain. Chapter 5 The most suitable basic cultivation stone tablets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 The most suitable basic cultivation stone tablets. In the magnificent library, the students of senior year class 2 gathered around the librarian and listened to him explain the concept of the basic cultivation stone tablets. These stone tablets are the experiences left behind by the previous cultivators. They have spent their whole life trying to carve their cultivation experience onto the stone tablets. Therefore, we, the descendants, can learn from the experiences of our predecessors through these stone tablets. Next, I will remove the restriction on the stone tablets. After you get the stone tablets, you only need to touch them, and you will feel it. As for how much experience you can feel and absorb, that will depend on your adaptability. The librarian, who was wearing a gray-white robe, glanced around and asked, "Does anyone have any questions?" "Mr. Librarian, if I get an unsuitable stone tablet, can I change it?" The librarian shook his head slightly. "That is not allowed. Whatever kind of cultivation stone tablet you get will be the same." Everyone was a little disappointed. The librarian continued, "However, you don't get the stone tablet randomly. You can choose it yourself. Once you choose them, you can't change them." Hearing this, the students became excited. "We can choose by ourselves. That's great. I have to choose carefully. This is related to my future. The beginning is very important. You have to be careful." Everyone followed the librarian and came to a big door. There were bold words engraved on the plaque above the door. It had basic cultivation stone tablets written on it. Different levels of cultivation stone tablets seemed to be divided into other rooms. The door opened, and everyone rushed in. The internal structure of the room was just like a standard library. However, the bookshelves here were 7 to 8 meters tall. Some stone tablets could only be obtained by climbing a ladder. After the students entered, they were instantly attracted by the dazzling collections of cultivation stone tablets. There were countless cultivation tablets, each representing the painstaking efforts of their predecessors. Although they were just basic cultivation tablets, to those before them, it was their life's work. So many cultivation tablets. It seems that our predecessors have left us many good things. So many. I don't know which one to choose. There's a cultivation tablet called Agility. After learning it, you can increase your movement speed and agility. This, brute force, suits me quite well. It can increase my strength. I choose this, hardened skin. My defense is a little weak. The students began to choose one after another. Some of them quickly found the cultivation tablets they needed. However, some went back and forth for a long time, not finding anything they liked. Luyu also began to look for a cultivation tablet. The stone tablets here were the most basic ones, and the improvement in his strength was almost the same. Therefore, he chose to focus on compatibility. Selecting a suitable cultivation method could make his future path a lot easier. At this moment, Luyu remembered his Eye of Truth, which could see through everything, hence, he scrutinized the dazzling stone tablets in front of him. As expected, a panel appeared next to the stone tablets. Name, body strengthening, effect, increases stamina and prolongs combat time. Compatibility, 30%. Lu Yu did not pay much attention to the first two introductions. He could read these two pieces of information from the stone tablets themselves. The key was the third one, compatibility. He could actually see the degree of compatibility. In this way, wouldn't he be able to choose the one that was most suitable for him easily? 30% was too low. It seemed that he still needed to continue searching, hence, Lu Yu quickly swept his gaze over and checked the information on every single stone tablet. However, after looking at dozens of them, not a single one of them had a compatibility of more than 50. Looks like it's really not easy to find a suitable one for myself. Lu Yu could only continue searching. After a short while, Lu Yu's gaze was attracted by a stone tablet. He immediately noticed the compatibility value. 90%. So high, Lu Yu quickly walked over and picked up the stone tablet. Armor penetration, effect, able to bypass some defenses and penetrate the skin, causing internal damage. Compatibility, 90%, 0.90% compatibility. This was the highest compatibility he had ever seen. Lu Yu did not look for any other stone tablets anymore. He immediately confirmed that he wanted this. He reached out to touch the stone tablets and sensed the cultivation technique contained within. He quickly finished absorbing it and mastered the armor penetration ability. After confirming the absorption of the cultivation technique, a system interface appeared in front of Lu Yu. The interface displayed Lu Yu's personal information, including 5 attributes: attack, 60, speed, 57, health, 96, mana, 89, defense, 45. Every awakened cultivator had an average attack speed and defense of around 50, and their health and mana were about 100. Lu Yu's attack and speed were higher than ordinary people's, but his defense was slightly lower. Lu Yu saw today's quest on the interface: daily quest, long distance running, 0/10 km, long jump, 0/100, climbing, 0/2 km, swinging claws, 0 out of 100. Choose one to complete. The system's 4 missions were not too difficult, but the reward was key. Then, Lu Yu saw the mission reward at the bottom of the mission notification. You will receive the following reward for completing the daily mission. Choose one of the 3. 1. Obtained 5 free attribute points. 2. Obtained 1 free skill point. 3. Obtained random treasure chest. Other than the daily quest, there are also achievement quests and random quests that provide even more generous rewards. After seeing these rewards, Lu Yu smiled. The prizes were not bad. It seemed that he would have to prioritize completing today's daily quest when he returned. After dismissing the panel, Lu Yu walked to the room's door. The door would only open after everyone had gotten the stone tablets. Lu Yu waited for a while. Everyone else had finally gotten their own cultivation technique. The librarian opened the door, and the students left one after another. Lu Yu followed the flow of people and walked out alone. In the past, Lu Yu was such an outstanding student in class that he barely had any friends. Thus, he often traveled alone. Lu Yu was still planning to leave alone to level up. It was too troublesome to form a team. At that moment, a group gathered nearby attracted Lu Yu's attention. He looked over and found a group of people surrounding Su Qing. Su Qing, form a team with me. I'll give you all the good things I get. Form a team with us. We're all very strong. Miss Su Qing, join my team. My dad is very rich. The noise from the crowd made Su Qing frown slightly. Then, she saw Lu Yu standing next to her. In the past, the outstanding Lu Yu gave her a good impression in school. Moreover, Lu Yu's personality was more mature than the people around her. He was neither jittery nor irritable. If they were teammates, they were still very suitable for each other, even if he was a little weaker. Thus, Su Qing walked toward Lu Yu. Lu Yu, I want to form a team with you. Is that okay? Su Qing walked over with a smile. For a moment, everyone around Su Qing was stunned on the spot. Their minds went blank. I don't understand. Why is Su Qing looking for Lu Yu to be her teammate? They all had the same thought. 6 Chapter 6 Going to the Black Market. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Going to the Black Market. That Su Qing sent over an invitation to Lu Yu, causing everyone to be puzzled. Is this for real? Su Qing actually went to invite Lu Yu. Didn't he awaken the weakest talent? One of them is the weakest, while the other is the strongest. How can they possibly go well together? Bloody hell, that kid Lu Yu is sure lucky. Why can't such a good thing happen to me? No way. What's so good about him that Su Qing actually took a liking to him? Maybe it's because he's more handsome. Damn, I'm not bad looking either. Just as everyone was puzzled, Lu Yu gave his answer to her invitation. Although Su Qing was publicly recognized as the school belle with her superior family background and strong talent, Lu Yu was already used to cultivating alone. I'm sorry, I prefer to cultivate alone. I've never considered forming a team or anything like that. Everyone was stunned after hearing this. The school belle with an A-level talent took the initiative to invite someone to form a team, but she was rejected. No one would believe it if this kind of rumor was made up. Moreover, she was rejected by a person who was publicly acknowledged to have the most useless talent. What's going on? Has Lu Yu gone crazy? Why did he reject her? You are actually rejecting such a good opportunity. Give it to me if you don't want it. Goddess, he doesn't want to form a team with you. I'm willing. Form a team with me. Su Qing, it's useless to be just handsome in this world. I have B-level talent. Come with me. At this moment, Lu Yu ignored the dumbfounded Su Qing and turned around to leave. Su Qing looked at Lu Yu's back and was surprised. She had never thought that her invitation would be rejected. Looking at the group of simps behind her, Su Qing revealed a disgusted expression and left the place. Lu Yu quickly rushed out of the crowd and left the library. Next, he planned to visit his aunt first. At the same time, he would report the results of his awakening. Although the results were unsatisfactory, Lu Yu did not plan to hide them. It was about 10 kilometers from the school to the hospital in the city center. While visiting his aunt, he could complete his daily quest. Thus, Lu Yu did not take a taxi and just ran along the street. Soon, after passing through a crowd, Lu Yu saw the hospital in the city center. At that moment, a notification appeared in front of his eyes. Congratulations on completing the daily quest. Please choose your reward. 1. Obtained 5 free attribute points. 2. Obtained 1 free skill point. 3. Obtained random treasure chest. Lu Yu pressed on the panel and selected 5 free attribute points. Congratulations on obtaining 5 free attribute points. Please distribute them yourselves. After that, Lu Yu's personal attribute panel appeared before him. He was still in his initial stage and had no actual combat experience, so he did not know which attribute was more suitable for him. Lu Yu felt that he should distribute them evenly. Attribute points have been distributed. Attack, 61. Speed, 58. Health, 97. Mana, 90. Defense, 46. When the attribute points were allocated, Lu Yu felt a surge of energy welling inside him. After absorbing it, he felt refreshed and renewed. The tiredness he felt after finishing his run here was gone entirely. After distributing the attribute points, Lu Yu walked into the hospital and went to his aunt's ward. There was a middle-aged woman with silvery hair on the white hospital bed. She was Lu Yu's aunt, Lu Yi. She was only in her 40s, but because of her illness, she looked like she was in her 50s or 60s. Lu Yu walked over and held her hand. Although her illness made her look extremely weathered, one could tell from her overall character that she was a peerless beauty when she was young. Aunt, do you feel better? Lu Yu asked softly. Lu Yi nodded slightly. Much better. By the way, today is your day of awakening. How did it go? Lu Yi's eyes were filled with hope. She had placed all her hopes in Lu Yu. Lu Yu smiled faintly. My awakened talent is outstanding. It suits me very well. With my talent, I can earn even more money. I will definitely cure you. Lu Yi nodded slightly, her face full of relief. Lu Yu saw her tired expression and said, You go ahead and rest well. I'll come back to visit in 2 days. Louis nodded slightly and closed her eyes sleepily. Louis walked out of the ward and went to the payment counter. He planned to use his salary to pay for the medical expenses. However, when he saw the bill, Louis frowned. It was twice as expensive as usual. Louis gritted his teeth and paid the bill with the entirety of his salary. Louis went to the attending physician's office with the bill in his hand. "Hello, doctor. I'm here to understand my aunt's condition." Louis walked in, and the doctor recognized him with just a glance. Due to Louis's strange condition, the doctor had a deep impression of both Louis and Louis. "Ah, it's you," he answered. "Come and sit." After Louis sat down, the doctor continued, "Your aunt's illness is very special. It has never been seen before in our entire medical history. I've consulted many hospitals and held a meeting with all of them, but they could not provide anything useful about this illness. At the moment, the only thing I can do is prescribe some drugs to suppress the illness." Hearing the doctor's words, Louis was a little bewildered. His aunt's illness was so unique that several hospitals collectively could not find a solution. In her current situation, she could only stay in the hospital and continue using medicine to maintain her body's function. Louis could only helplessly nod his head. "All right then. If there's a solution, you must let me know." The doctor nodded his head. "Of course." After walking out of the hospital, Louis stood on the street and rummaged through his pockets. He was penniless now and had to go to work quickly. However, as he had already awakened his talent, he did not have to do the labor-intensive work he always did. Louis immediately thought about the notion of going to the fighting ring in the black market. Although it was dangerous, the profits were much higher. He needed to earn more money, or else his aunt would be unable to hold on much longer. It was already late today, so Louis went home to rest. The next day, when the sky brightened, Louis got up early and was ready to head out. He opened the map on his phone and found the location of the black market. Although everyone called it the black market, in reality, this was the Awakeners Trading Center. Most of the Awakeners would gather here to trade or carry out quests. Then, Louis opened the daily quest panel. The quests on it were exactly the same as yesterday. Louis chose to complete today's quest with the same long run. It just so happened that the distance between his home and the black market was more than 10 kilometers. As long as he ran there, he would complete the daily quest. Thus, Louis ran along the empty streets in the early morning towards the black market. After running about 3/4 of the way, Louis saw a notification pop up. "Congratulations on completing the daily quest. Please choose your reward." The reward was exactly the same as yesterday. However, this time, Louis chose a free skill point. 7 Chapter 7 Dark Forest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Dark Forest. Louis jogged to the black market and completed today's daily quest. He exchanged it for one free skill point. Since he only had one skill, he could only use this skill for armor penetration. After some fiddling, Louis heard a notification sound. "Congratulations on completing the enhancement. Armor penetration skill is LV2. Armor penetration LV2, this enhancement has increased the effect of penetrating the skin, causing internal damage to increase by 5%. As Louis had not engaged in actual combat yet, he was not clear about the actual effect of this enhancement. Nevertheless, in the path of cultivation, there would be no lack of opportunities for actual combat. Louis looked at the Awakeners Trading Center in front of him. It's a large location, but it's only 2 stories high. As soon as he reached the door, Louis could hear the noise inside. Because the Awakeners were a complicated group, a portion of the law didn't apply to them. It was due to these unique privileges that the Awakeners had that this uncontrolled black market was formed. Louis walked through the black market's entrance. As soon as he entered, he saw a crowd of people before him. Everyone was walking in a hurry, trying to find something to strengthen themselves. The place was surrounded by a circle of shops, with many notice boards placed in the middle of the area. Some of them had trade offers written on them, while others had requests written on them. In this place, where there were no rules, anything could be traded. As long as there was money, anything could be bought. As for those without money, they could only sell their labor to earn money. The most common quest was to offer to fight for others, helping wealthy individuals hunt ferocious beasts, obtain materials, and sell them. Needless to say, the use of these materials was for evolution. Lu Yu looked around and found that almost half of the quests here were of this type. Moreover, the quest reward was pretty bountiful. He silently noted down a few suitable quests and then quietly walked to a corner where no one was around. In the corner, Lu Yu took out a black jacket and pants from his backpack. After putting them on, Lu Yu took out a black face cloth to cover his face before walking out again. He was a newbie who had just awoken. Generally speaking, it was tough for newbies to receive quests. If people saw that Lu Yu was still a student preparing for his college entrance examination, he would probably return empty-handed today. It was easy for rookies to mess up, and no one was willing to waste time on rookies. Although Lu Yu covered his face, it did not affect his ability to accept quests in the black market. There were many people dressed as Lu Yu here. Some did not want to attract attention, and others feared being caught for their crimes. Therefore, even though Lu Yu walked around dressed entirely in black, no one even noticed him. He came to the quest area and stood at the side for a short observation. He carefully observed how others accepted quests. After memorizing it, he began to act. It would be awkward if anything happened during the process of accepting a quest and it was revealed that he was a newbie. Lu Yu scrutinized the process for some time and came to a conclusion. One type of quest was a quest that was written on the notice board. Under normal circumstances, the quest giver would be unwilling to show their faces. Another type of quest was to receive them from a merchant. To replenish their inventory, merchants would issue many quests and request the help of awakeners to collect materials. There were plenty of quests to go around, but knowing which region the quests could be completed in was critical. There were some regions that ordinary cultivators couldn't handle. Lu Yu opened the map on his phone and looked up the dungeon region. Many areas were suitable for newcomers. But in the end, Lu Yu chose the dark forest. This area was a newbie area. But at the same time, there was one of the materials needed for the evolution of the dragon claw, the shadow cat demon fingernails. This is it. I hope I can get the materials. After dimming the screen on his phone, Lu Yu walked toward the merchant's location. Lu Yu had his eyes on a shop and walked over. At that moment, Lu Yu's phone rang. He took it out and saw that it was a call from his homeroom teacher. Lu Yu, why aren't you at school today? The school is giving a basic item to the students today, and it would be a pity if you weren't here to collect it, the homeroom teacher asked. I have something to do here. I'll be there right away. Alright, although you students have the first 3 weeks as free activities, it's best to do them within the school. There are many training grounds available in the school, and you have to work hard to have the chance to catch up. I got it. I'll be back in a while. Alright, don't run around blindly with your situation. Train obediently, and at least you won't be left far behind by others. After saying that, he hung up the phone. Lu Yu smiled helplessly. If he were to train in school, he would definitely end up useless. Only by evolving into the dragon claw would he have a future. Lu Yu walked along the streets of the black market. He looked at the shops beside him and found they all looked extravagant. However, Lu Yu only wanted to take on a beginner-level quest. Soon, he saw a shop with simple decorations. He quickly walked in and saw the quest information posted on the door. Quest target, collect 100, Eye of the Cat Demon. This quest is good. It's just right for me. Lu Yu's first target was to head to the dark forest to collect the shadow cat demon fingernails. It would be much more convenient if he took on collecting the eye of the cat demon as his secondary goal. Hence, Lu Yu walked in. The owner of the shop was a fat man wearing overalls. When he saw Lu Yu walking in, he walked over with a smile. Hello, are you here to buy something or accept a quest? He asked with a big smile. Lu Yu pointed at the door and said, I just saw a quest to collect 100 eyes of the cat demon. I want to accept that quest. No problem, this is the quest's information. The owner gave him a piece of paper, and Lu Yu took it. The quest area is in the dark forest, but it's challenger level. The boss nodded. That's right, only challenger level will drop this material. Lu Yu thought for a moment and decided to accept the quest. Okay, I'll accept this quest. What about the reward? Regarding the reward, I'll settle it after completing the quest. The way we do so will be up to you. Lu Yu nodded slightly. Generally speaking, the quest's reward would be linked to the difficulty, and there was a set of rules in the market regarding it, so Lu Yu did not need to worry about this. After completing the quest, he could either settle for money or convert his reward into other materials or equipment. Lu Yu roughly estimated that this quest's money reward would be at least tens of thousands of dollars. Take this. This specific teleportation scroll can teleport you to the quest location at any time. A sheepskin scroll appeared in the boss's hand, and it was filled with an ancient yet plain aura. Lu Yu reached out and took it. Alright, I'll take my leave then. No problem. I'll be waiting for your good news. Lu Yu turned around and left the shop. He was not in a hurry to complete the quest. Therefore, he returned to school first. Although earning money was very important, he should not fall behind in his homework. He needed to return to class and learn the knowledge of this world. Previously, Lu Yu had been running back and forth between the school, his work, and the hospital. But even so, he did not fall behind in any of them. Although it was tough and tiring, he had to do it for his aunt. Chapter 8 Quest begins, turning the tide of the battle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Quest begins, turning the tide of the battle. At Riverdale City High School, Lu Yu was heading toward his class. After returning to his class, Lu Yu received a bottle of basic recovery medicine from his homeroom teacher and returned to his seat. Many students were surprised that Lu Yu was late for the first time in history, and this was something unbelievable to them. After all, in their eyes, Lu Yu used to be the most hard-working person in the class. He was the kind of person who would not be late even once a year. After completing a day of school, Lu Yu went home to rest and prepare for tomorrow's quest. The next morning, Lu Yu sat on the bed early and took out the ancient scroll. He slowly pulled and opened the scroll. The next moment, a ray of light flashed and enveloped Lu Yu. With a swoosh, Lu Yu disappeared. When Lu Yu reappeared, he had already arrived at the entrance of a dungeon. He was in a dense forest, and a towering tree at the dungeon's entrance was right in front of Lu Yu. The tree was over 100 meters tall, and its towering trunk was filled with an ancient aura. With a long history, this ancient tree had a huge dark hole with soldiers guarding the entrance. Lu Yu walked over and stood in front of the soldier. I want to be teleported to the difficult level, Dark Forest. The soldier pointed at an array formation not far ahead and said, stand inside the array formation and wait for a few seconds, and you will be teleported in. Lu Yu nodded slightly and began to do as he was told. He went to the center of the array formation and waited for a moment. Then, a dazzling light flashed before him. The light flickered, and Lu Yu's figure disappeared. The next moment, Lu Yu opened his eyes and saw that he was in a dense jungle. He looked up and saw countless intersecting tree branches covering the sky. His surroundings were damp and dark, and he could hear strange cries around him from time to time. It seemed that he had arrived at the dark forest. From now on, Lu Yu had to be careful. He, who had never fought before, was about to start his first battle. Suddenly, Lu Yu saw an afterimage from the corner of his eye. With a swoosh, two cat demons suddenly attacked Lu Yu. These two cat demons were about the size of a bobcat, but their claws were thin, long and sharp. Those claws flashed with a cold glint as they slashed at Lu Yu. The cat demons in front of him were the most common monsters in the dungeon of the Dark Forest, and their specialty was their fast movement. However, in Lu Yu's eyes, these cat demons were just a piece of material delivering itself right onto his doorstep. Lu Yu stretched out his hands, and sharp claws grew out of each of his 10 fingers. He slashed his claws with all his might and attacked the cat demons. This was the first time Lu Yu used his sharp claws to attack. His attack was very choppy, and it seemed like he was waving his hands randomly. The cat demon was not to be trifled with. In their state of constant battle in the dungeon, their combat experience was definitely much richer than Lu Yu's. A cat demon hopped around and found an opening to swish its claws a few times at Lu Yu. Lu Yu's clothes were instantly torn open, and blood oozed from the scratches. Then, another cat demon quickly attacked as well. Lu Yu did not have time to think and hastily attacked with his claws. However, Lu Yu's speed was slightly slower than the cat demon. The cat demon dodged sideways and swung 2 more attacks. For a moment, the battle turned badly for Lu Yu. His body was already riddled with many wounds, his blood staining a large area of his clothes. The current situation was that Lu Yu could not kill the 2 cat demons and couldn't outrun them even if he wanted to escape. All Lu Yu could do was hold on and find another way. The battle was getting more and more intense. Lu Yu started retreating as he fought, his forehead covered in sweat. Just as Lu Yu was overwhelmed with anxiety, a notification suddenly appeared in front of his eyes. Congratulations on completing the daily quest, swipe your claws, 100 out of 100. Please choose your reward. Lu Yu was overjoyed. He did not expect that he had already swung his claws 100 times. However, this daily reward could not help him out of his predicament. Adding 5 attribute points or strengthening armor penetration would not be able to get him out of this battle. Very quickly, Lu Yu thought of the third reward, the random treasure chest. If the treasure chest could give him a good item, he would have a chance to turn the tide of the battle. Lu Yu quickly exchanged it for a random treasure chest. Congratulations, you have obtained a bronze treasure chest. A bronze treasure chest immediately appeared before Lu Yu's eyes. The next wave of attacks from the 2 cat demons immediately came. Lu Yu didn't hesitate and quickly opened the treasure chest. Congratulations, you have obtained the shadow brass knuckles. Do you want to equip it? Equip. Lu Yu did not have time to look at the skill description and quickly equipped the brass knuckles. A pair of brass knuckles immediately appeared on Lu Yu's hands. He cast a glance at the effect of the equipment. Shadow brass knuckles, increases attack power by 10%, increases attack speed by 10%. Lu Yu was overjoyed. What he lacked was attack speed. In the beginning, Lu Yu had little experience in fighting and was much slower than the cat demons. Lu Yu slowly became more proficient throughout the battle, and his speed also caught up. With the shadow brass knuckles, Lu Yu's speed wasn't inferior to the 2 ordinary cat demons anymore. Die! The pain all over his body made Lu Yu furious. He punched out with both fists, and the sudden increase in the speed of his fist caused the cat demons to be unable to react in time. His fists smashed into the cat demons' heads, shattering their skulls and sending blood flying everywhere. The 2 cat demons wailed and fell to the ground, dead. Lu Yu took 2 deep breaths and was about to retrieve the materials when a notification appeared. Congratulations on completing your first kill. Reward, Skill Stone Tablet, Double Jump. A tablet floated before Lu Yu. After a moment of joy, Lu Yu reached out and took the tablet. Skill effect, after completing a jump, you can jump again in the air and reach a higher place. This skill isn't bad. This skill could help Lu Yu reach a height he could not reach before and make it easier for him to fight. If a sneak attack happened again like the one just now, Lu Yu could use the double jump to distance himself from them quickly. In short, it was a movement skill. Lu Yu put his hand on the stone tablet and began to feel the energy inside. Soon, he opened his eyes and had wholly learned the double jump. Lu Yu squatted before the cat demon's corpse, took out a dagger and began to dissect its corpse. After cutting off its fingernails and eyeballs, he put them into his backpack. After collecting the spoils of war, Lu Yu did not stop. He began to look for other cat demons. The pain and wounds on his body severely affected Lu Yu's movements. Therefore, Lu Yu took out the basic recovery medicine he received yesterday and drank it in one gulp. After drinking it, Lu Yu felt a sense of relief. The pain was instantly swept away. Moreover, all the wounds on his body stopped bleeding instantly, and they even began to scab. After recovering, Lu Yu felt refreshed. He immediately stretched his claws and continued to search for cat demons to fight. Lu Yu continued to fight without a moment's rest. Just like that, Lu Yu fought till late in the night before he finally stopped. 9 Chapter 9 Coexistence of Danger and Opportunity. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ro Alpha D Alpha Na Chapter 9 Coexistence of Danger and Opportunity. After a day of battle, Lu Yu killed about a dozen cat demons and obtained more than 20 eyeballs. After a day of battle, Lu Yu's mastery of the armor penetration skill had reached perfection. He was also familiar with his double jump, which he didn't use frequently. After battling for the entire day, the damage he took was less than he took during the battle of the first 2 cat demons at the beginning. Lu Yu scanned his surroundings. In the dark environment, many eyes were staring at him. It seemed that it would not work if he wanted to spend the night here. He had to find a safe place to spend the night as soon as possible. Lu Yu packed his things and prepared to look around for a safe place. He began to walk around and observe his surroundings. What gave him a headache was that this area was filled with cat demons, and these monsters were too agile and could go anywhere. Moreover, their sense of smell was very sensitive, which gave Lu Yu trouble. At that moment, 2 dim lights appeared in front of Lu Yu's eyes. One was red, and the other was green. He immediately knew this was a hint given by his eyes of truth. The red light had the word danger written on it, and the green light had the word opportunity written on it. It was obvious that as long as Lu Yu followed the green light, he would be able to find a safe place. Following the hint, Lu Yu continued to move forward until he finally arrived at the place where the green light stopped. There were quite a few withered tree roots here. Lu Yu scratched his head and saw another notification. This hollow withered tree root is your shelter. Rest here for a night, and you will have the chance to obtain some unexpected gains. He looked around and soon saw the hollow tree root aforementioned. It could just nice fit a person in it. He pondered for a moment and decided to follow the notification. He went straight in. After entering, Lu Yu was surprised to find that the place was actually quite comfortable. There was also a refreshing fragrance to it. This place was like a different world compared to the outside, and it did not seem to be one with the rotten-smelling forest. Lu Yu checked around and did not find anything. However, as this was a good place, he chose to sleep there. The next morning, Lu Yu woke up early. He did not encounter any danger last night and slept comfortably. The morning sun shone through the leaves and illuminated his surroundings. The morning air in the forest was very fresh, giving Lu Yu the urge to take a few deep breaths. Lu Yu stood up and prepared to continue his quest for the day. At that moment, he suddenly remembered the hint given by his eyes. There was an opportunity to be found here. It seemed that he needed to search carefully to find the so-called opportunity. It should be impossible that this opportunity was as simple as just giving him a good night's sleep. With this thought in mind, Lu Yu began to search around. However, he did not find anything after looking around for a long time. The strangest thing was that it seemed he did not encounter any cat demons. Could it be that this place was naturally isolated from the cat demons? Just as Lu Yu was puzzled, he suddenly smelled a light fragrance. He sniffed carefully and headed toward where the fragrance was. Slowly, he walked to the root of the tree. When he took a closer look, he felt something strange. Why was there suddenly a pleasant fragrance coming from here? He squatted in front of the root and looked inside with caution. At that moment, a dazzling fruit attracted Lu Yu's attention. There was a fruit lying quietly inside. The fragrance was emitted from this fruit. Lu Yu could tell at a glance that this fruit was not ordinary, so he quickly used his eye of truth to look at it. Cleansing fruit, a precious item. It bears fruit once every 10 years. After consuming it, it can calm the mind and significantly increase the user's skill level. After reading its description, Lu Yu was overjoyed. He had known about this item, which was definitely a world treasure. In Riverdale City, many upper echelon people were looking for this cleansing fruit. After consuming a cleansing fruit, one's skill level would increase rapidly, which would, in turn, increase one's strength. In this world where strength reigns supreme, a treasure that could rapidly increase one's power would be sought after by countless people. Lu Yu carefully stretched out his hand, wanting to take this fruit. His skill level was relatively low right now, so his strength would also increase considerably after eating it. He could also sell it for a reasonable price if he decided to sell it. No matter how he dealt with it, he would definitely make a profit. He had struck gold. Just as Lu Yu was about to touch the fruit, a series of notifications appeared before his eyes. Opportunities and dangers coexist. Please think twice before picking it up. Do be prepared at the same time. Lu Yu looked at this notification and fell into deep thought. Obviously, picking this fruit would bring danger. He was not sure yet what the danger was. For a moment, Lu Yu paused. What if he could not deal with the danger? After hesitating for a short moment, Lu Yu made up his mind and picked the fruit. He wouldn't lack the chance to encounter such an opportunity. If he were afraid of danger every time he met a similar event in the future, he would never be able to become someone strong in his lifetime. Therefore, he had to get this fruit. What Lu Yu needed most now was to improve his strength. This fruit came to him at the right moment. He reached out and picked the fruit. After inspecting the crystal clear light yellow fruit, Lu Yu put it into his backpack. Then, he squatted on the spot and carefully sensed the movements around him, waiting for danger to come. After waiting for a long time, Lu Yu noticed there wasn't any danger coming to him. Just as he was about to get up and leave, he suddenly felt a chill on his back. Lu Yu's entire body froze. At that moment, he sensed a hint of danger. He slowly turned his head and saw a giant cat demon. This was the shadow cat demon. Its dark purple fur, sharp claws, and the muscles on its body indicated that this monster wasn't to be trifled with. The shadow cat demon, which was about the same size as a lion, began approaching Lu Yu. Lu Yu soon realized he was in the Shadow Cat Demon's territory, and this cleansing fruit was the fruit that the Shadow Cat Demon was guarding. With the fruit snatched away, the Cat Demon was extremely angry, and it bared its fangs at Lu Yu and growled. The Shadow Cat Demon was several times stronger than ordinary cat demons. If Lu Yu were to fight it alone, he had to be very careful. Lu Yu had read up about the Shadow Cat Demon in school. It was called the Shadow Cat Demon because it was swift and could teleport. Ordinary attacks could only hit the shadow of its afterimage, hence the name Shadow Cat Demon. Lu Yu wasn't sure if his speed could catch up to it. But now, he had no way out. The cat demon stretched its claws and slowly closed in on Lu Yu. Lu Yu slowly retreated, not daring to look back. For felines, they would pounce on enemies with their backs facing them. For now, Lu Yu slowly retreated. At the same time, he unsheathed his claws and prepared for battle. The next moment, with a swoosh, the Shadow Cat Demon flashed into an afterimage and rushed towards Lu Yu. Lu Yu widened his eyes. The Shadow Cat Demon was indeed fast. He did not have time to hesitate. He immediately jumped into the air and followed up with a double jump, barely dodging the Shadow Cat Demon's first attack. 10 Chapter 10 Split Claws, Killing the Shadow Cat Demon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Split Claws, Killing the Shadow Cat Demon. The first attack of the Shadow Cat Demon was an eye-opener for Lu Yu. Its speed was so fast that Lu Yu almost couldn't react in time. Lu Yu landed lightly on the ground after his double jump. The Shadow Cat Demon didn't give Lu Yu a chance to catch his breath. It immediately rushed over again and slashed its claws at Lu Yu. Its claws carried a sharp aura as it attacked Lu Yu. Lu Yu hurriedly jumped backwards. After jumping into the air, he followed up with a double jump and jumped backwards again. He barely dodged the Cat Demon's attack with the backwards double jump. However, what gave Lu Yu the biggest trouble was that although he could dodge the Cat Demon's attack, he could not attack it at all. Firstly, it was difficult for him to get close to the Shadow Cat Demon. Secondly, even if he got close, the Shadow Cat Demon would immediately flash away and flee before he could unleash his attacks. The ridiculous thing about his situation was that the Shadow Cat Demon could create more than one afterimage, and Lu Yu could not tell which was the Shadow Cat Demon's actual body. If he relied on blind guesses, it would easily spell the end for him. The Shadow Cat Demon attacked again, and it did not give him any chance to catch his breath and kept slashing its claws. Lu Yu kept retreating, dodging, and releasing his skills continuously, causing him to sweat profusely. Right now, all Lu Yu could do was skirt around the Shadow Cat Demon and use his double jump to dodge its attacks. If he ran, he would definitely not be able to outrun the Shadow Cat Demon. If he chose to attack, he would not be able to land his attack regardless. At that moment, Lu Yu felt a sense of powerlessness. If this continued, he would end up dead sooner or later. If he had known of this earlier, he would not have taken that fruit. After dodging continuously, a notification suddenly appeared in front of Lu Yu's eyes. Congratulations for completing the daily quest, long jump, 100 out of 100. Please choose your reward. 1. Obtained 5 free attribute points. 2. Obtained 1 free skill point. 3. Obtained random treasure chest. Lu Yu was delighted. Today's daily reward finally arrived. This time, Lu Yu chose the random treasure chest again. Congratulations on the bronze treasure chest. Do you want to open it? Open it. Lu Yu hurriedly shouted. The treasure chest opened, and a skill stone tablet floated out. Lu Yu quickly checked and exclaimed, the skill is Split Claw. Wave your claws and damage enemies within 5 meters of you. An AoE group damage skill. If he learns this skill, could it mean he doesn't have to care about the afterimages created by the Shadow Cat Demon? No matter how many afterimages it makes, as long as he used Split Claw to attack, all of it would be attacked as long as it's in that range. Lu Yu was delighted. With this skill, he could launch a counterattack. The moment Lu Yu took the stone tablet, the Shadow Cat Demon attacked again and slashed at Lu Yu with its claws. Lu Yu quickly retreated and used a double jump to jump onto a tree branch. Then, Lu Yu placed his hand on the stone tablet and began to feel it with his heart. A wave of energy surged into Lu Yu's body. He had successfully learned the Split Claw skill. Lu Yu looked at his claws and waved them gently twice. His claws stirred up the surrounding airflow. Alright, all I have is this split claw skill now. Whether I live or die, it all depends on this. Lu Yu jumped down from the tree branch and rushed towards the Shadow Cat Demon's position. The Shadow Cat Demon saw Lu Yu jumping down while brandishing his claws. The Cat Demon was cautious and created 2 afterimages to cover itself fighting, and dodging Lu Yu's attack. This time, Lu Yu completely ignored the afterimages and directly waved his claws with all his might. Buzz! After a series of buzzing sounds, Lu Yu's claws slashed out several sharp air blades forward. Key! The split claws struck the Shadow Cat Demon's body, and it cut through its fur and skin, causing blood to flow out instantly. The Shadow Cat Demon was in pain and roared out. Now, you die! Lu Yu raised his claws and prepared to strike again. Seeing the situation it was in, the Shadow Cat Demon hurriedly retreated, trying to dodge Lu Yu's attack. The attack just now has caused it immense pain. It did not have the intention of fighting any further, however. Lu Yu had already set his eyes on the materials that the Shadow Cat Demon would drop. He had to kill it here. Seeing that the Shadow Cat Demon wanted to retreat, Lu Yu did not hesitate to jump over. He then released a double jump in the air, instantly pulling himself closer to the Shadow Cat Demon. The next moment, Lu Yu swung his claws and slashed at the Shadow Cat Demon. Swoosh! The sharp slash shot out once again and hit the Shadow Cat Demon heavily, tearing into its skin and flesh. Blood instantly spurted out. The Shadow Cat Demon was in pain and immediately laid on the ground, wailing. Lu Yu landed on the ground and walked toward the Shadow Cat Demon. Lu Yu did not intend to show any mercy to the Shadow Cat Demon rolling on the ground. Next, Lu Yu's right claw pierced through the Shadow Cat Demon's chest. Then, Lu Yu crushed the Shadow Cat Demon's heart. At this point, the Shadow Cat Demon had completely lost its life. Lu Yu squatted beside the Shadow Cat Demon's corpse and took out a dagger. Cutting off the Shadow Cat Demon's fingernails, this was one of the materials needed for his Dragon Claw evolution. He was one step closer to evolving into his Dragon Claw. Of course, Lu Yu could instead head down the path of the Cat Claw, but for the sake of his future path, it was better to save up and choose the path of the Dragon Claw. Congratulations on obtaining the Shadow Cat Demon fingernail. Do you want to evolve the path of Cat Claw? A system notification appeared. Lu Yu did not hesitate and directly chose no. Lu Yu continued to take off the Shadow Cat Demon's eyeballs. After he was done, he checked his backpack. There were about 30 Cat Demon eyeballs. He was still far from 100. Now that he had learned the split claw, it would be much easier for him to kill those Cat Demons. Therefore, Lu Yu continued his quest. After resting for a while, Lu Yu continued to wander around the dark forest, looking for Cat Demons to kill. This time, his hunting speed was much faster than yesterday. To increase his efficiency, Lu Yu would attract 5 to 6 Cat Demons at a time and then use Split Claw to kill them all in one go. The attributes of these little Cat Demons were only half of Lu Yu's, and the only thing that was half decent was their speed. After Lu Yu hunted, the entire dark forest became much quieter. There was also a faint smell of blood in the air. Many Cat Demons were scared out of their wits when they saw Lu Yu. They fled the moment they saw him. Lu Yu's massacre made him the devil in the eyes of these Cat Demons. After almost a day, Lu Yu finally collected the remaining eyeballs he needed. At dusk, Lu Yu finished collecting the last eyeball. After cleaning up the blood stains on his body, he was ready to leave the dungeon. He went to the entrance and returned to the position of the array formation. With a flash of light, Lu Yu was teleported out. As soon as he left, Lu Yu saw the notification in front of him. Congratulations on completing an achievement. Congratulations on clearing a difficult level dungeon for the first time. Congratulations on killing a dungeon boss for the first time. 3 items are rewarded. Please choose.